Hi AML family, this is Luna and we're interviewing
Chantel.
Can you tell me how old you are?
34.
Can you tell me a little bit about your childhood?
I had a really good childhood. Not to sound braggy or boasty, but I kind of was spoiled. I got everything I wanted and needed, but on top of that, I grew up around substance abuse. I'm not gonna say abuse, but substance using through my family on both sides. But even on top of them doing that, somehow, some way, they still managed to take care of us. I guess the one part that was lacking was time. Even though we lived in the same house, there wasn't much time spent. So it was basically like material things. But besides that, I didn't want for anything. I think it kind of got crazy when I got older.
Do you have brothers and sisters you grew up with?
Younger brother. And my cousins.
Was your mom and dad in your family, or both of them were together? That's cool. Mine weren't. So did you graduate school, or?
I went to college too.
You went to college? What did you go for?
Penn State. I went for nursing.
Shout out to Penn State. I live right by there. That's where I'm from. So do you still have your nursing degree, or? No,
I didn't finish. I only went for 2 years, and then I flunked out. So financially, when your GPA dropped below, they put you on probation, and then, I was partying, so my GPA dropped below. They put you on academic probation, then it dropped again, so then financial aid stopped paying for you to go. So then I went to community college, so I didn't want to give up. So I went to community for a year, then I started having kids. So I didn't want to be on welfare, so I stopped going to school and started working with my kids.
How many kids do you have?
2. My daughter's 13, my son's 16.
Do you see them?
They're only a couple of blocks from me.
So how long have you been in Kensington? Can you tell me a little bit about your backstory with that?
On and off for the past year. So I'll say, like, out of a month, I might come down for like a week and go home for 2 weeks, come down for like a week. So it's like back and forth.
So you have a home?
Not my own, but I stay with my parents.
Okay. So what drugs do you use?
Can I say boy and girl? I mean, cocaine and opiates.
Yeah.
I didn't say boy and girl just in case it's kids watching.
That's funny. So how do you get your money when you're out here?
I do hair.
You do hair?
Sometimes I manipulate. I scheme, I scam.
Did anything bad ever happen to you while you were out here?
Yes, it did. I fell on the tracks.
Ooh.
On the L.
Were you nodding?
From, not getting enough sleep. Sleep deprivation.
Yeah, it's hard.
Twice.
So, do you have any friends out here? Anybody you can look for support out here in Kensington?
Support besides substance? No. I have no friends out here.
Do you have support at home?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's anything that you regret in your life?
The men that I chose.
Can you tell me a little bit about them? And why you regret them?
I'm not going to say they're bad people. They just weren't father material. Like we both wasn't ready for a relationship. We both weren't ready for kids. So I wish I would have waited. I wish I would have waited to have children, or waited to have children maybe with somebody different, like later on.
Things happen for a reason, though. So, yeah. Looking back at where your life started going wrong, what do you identify as the cause of that going wrong?
How it started? Curiosity.
What age did you start?
I started at 19. See, I was curious because, like I said, my upbringing, that's what I saw. So being as though it was always in the back of my mind, then coming out into the streets, it's like, oh, this is what, my folks was doing. And like, well, what the hype is about? Well, let me see. And then the men I was dealing with, was doing it. So it was really like, oh, well, I got to check this thing out. See what's, so curiosity.
Yeah. Is your baby dad's older than you? Yeah.
20 years.
20 years? Yeah. Were you raised in Philadelphia?
South Philadelphia.
South Philly. Shout out to South Philly. Do you think at the time South Philly was a bad area for you growing up, or do you feel like if you would have grew up somewhere else, you would have never tried drugs even though your family was on drugs?
You know what? That's a good question. My aunt tried to get me at 13 before it even started. She lived in Atlanta, Georgia. So if I would have went with her and stayed, this probably wouldn't have never happened.
Atlanta, Georgia's bad too, though.
But no, like she was in the Marines. Like the area she was
okay.
in, you really had to have a car and like travel. And at that age, I didn't know nothing about that. So I'm not saying it would have never happened there, but it probably wouldn't have happened like coming out on your front step and it's right there.
Looking back now to when you were a kid, did you play with your siblings? Were you a family person?
Oh, yeah.
Because you said you were well taken care of.
We had fun. We had a lot of fun. We went to amusement parks. My grandmom always threw the parties at the house for different holidays. She was what you call like did crafts. So every holiday, it was like all the kids on the block come to our house. Valentine's Day, she did the Easter egg hunt, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Like I had a really good childhood.
You mentioned your grandma. So your grandma was involved in your life a lot.
Big time.
Yeah. With your mom growing up in substance abuse, you witnessed that. Did you ever see her like nodding?
Grandma?
No, your mom.
Oh. No, not mom, but others. I don't want to say the names.
But you saw other people.
I saw, yeah.
Is there any hobbies you like to do while you're in Kensington?
What hobbies? In here,
There can be all kinds of them.
I do hair.
Yeah, you said that.
I do hair.
Do you ever do it on the street though?
Yeah, that's where it started.
I'm trying to find somebody to dread my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you, in the last 3 months, have you saw your kids? Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah. Well, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and the things you like to do if you're not in Kensington?
My children, I want to go back to work. I want to go back to school. And I still want to use too. So I'll be asking myself, well, can I do all of these right things and still do that too?
Have you ever tried treatment?
Yeah. And I stayed clean for like 3 months afterwards. Like 3 months after treatment. But somehow I got overwhelmed trying to like fix everything, do everything, fix everything. And my family kept saying, Camille, you can't, it took you years to get messed up, so you can't put everything back into place in 30 days.
Yeah.
So, and boredom.
Do you live by that quote now? That their family told you that?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It does.
It's hard, but it makes sense.
Is there anything the AML family could do for you?
I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I guess like some treatments, information. Other than that, I don't really know. I gotta do it for me. I gotta get with me first.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
To get clean, get my own place, and go back to school.
If you got granted those 3 wishes, would you do it now? Or would you wait?
I'd probably wait like 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks?
Just being honest, just like to get it out my system real quick before I wouldn't do it right now. It's like 2 more weeks or a week.
Do you have anything to say to the AML family?
Just thank you for taking the time out and asking us questions and being concerned, because it's definitely questions that if we sat back and asked ourselves, it would probably make us feel a little, it's very deep, give you something to think about.
Yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm. But thank you for your time. You did great.